Good evening and welcome to another Korgis live stream. Sorry we've been away for a couple of weeks, but we've had gigs on the Thursdays and we thought if we change... Sorry, Nigel's just struggling with some technology over there. We thought if we change the time of the live stream, change the day of the live stream, it'll be a disaster. And then everyone will go, well, we don't know where we are now. Is it Thursday or Wednesday or when is it? So we thought we wouldn't do that. So sorry we haven't been here for the last couple of weeks, but we're back now and we're back for a good while, I reckon. I reckon so anyway. Tonight on the show, we have multiple guests. We have the Reverend James Warren will be delivering some sermons. And also we have Leah Darknell, of course, who was responsible for the original cartoons of which Cartoon World was born. She'll be coming on a little bit later and we'll find out what she is up to at the moment. And James will be a little bit earlier and we'll find out what he and, in fact, we have been up to. But in the meantime, we are going to play today's song, which is Cartoon World.
Pictures, captions, words and bubbles. Everyone has a cartoon double. Say what you want in a page of squares. It's all great fun, no one will care. But off the page I'm cold and tense, and nothing I do seems to make much sense. There's not too much to shout about in Disney World when the lights go out and there's no one to say cut. We're living in a cartoon world. I'm living with a cartoon girl. She's sweet in every way, loves me any time of day. All I have to do is say the word. Haven't you heard that you're a cartoon girl? Not sure I'm cut out for this cardboard world. Maybe it's just me, I like it how it used to be in the 70s. It's so easy, nothing matters. When it's not real, then nothing's shattered. Facing life in a world of dreams. Fantasy is what it seems, but when the night comes cold and dark, reality sure leaves its mark. The world's not shut in black and white. What can I do but close my eyes and dream the motion stops? We're living in a cartoon world. I'm living with a cartoon girl. She's sweet in every way, loves me any time of day. All I have to do is say the word. Haven't you heard that you're a cartoon girl? Not sure I'm uncertainties.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? I've got my round of applause. I think the reason that I've probably got that such a big and such an early round of applause is because it's summer and I'm wearing my shorts. I think they go quite well with the jacket. I mean, maybe that'll be a new look. Maybe that'll be a summer look for festivals, the jackets and shorts. That'll be something to set you on fire. Aha! So, as always, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't already. You'll see how easy that is.
That was easy.
It's as easy as that. And it has been working because we had loads more followers on YouTube than we had previously. And also, we've just gone over 1,000 Instagram followers, and we've had Instagram about a year and a half, something like that. So it's not too shabby. It's not too bad. So that's good. So please do subscribe anywhere. And also, we're doing a little bit of a push to join us on the website, because we're going to be sending out more regular newsletters from there, letting you know what's going on. And hopefully there will be more and more going on. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Well, I'll tell you what else could be going on right now. If I can get this right, yeah, I think James Warren could be coming on right now if I can find my applause button. Let's see if I can find it, because he won't come on unless he gets this applause. Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Warren.
Hello.
There we are. Very good.
How nice to be here.
It's very nice to be here. And we've been working on stuff today, haven't we?
We've been working on stuff today, yes. Do you know? You probably don't. Well, you might do. We're doing a Japanese album, as in an album for the Japanese market.
Yeah.
But it'll also be released in the UK in a few months' time, I expect. It's not a proper album. It's not meant to be a follow-up to Cartoon World, but it's an album called Curiosities.
No.
No.
Cool
Hits. Cool Hits with a K.
Yeah.
Curiosities with a K, and collaborations with a K.
Yeah.
So it's like a collection of odds and ends, you know.
Some unreleased things, some things that you wouldn't have heard anywhere else.
Yeah.
At some point, we will. We will actually go through that whole play you some snippets of it.
We will.
And when it's close to release, we might actually do with it what we did with this and explain how we made them and why we made them and what's different about some of them. Because a lot of the songs you would know, but there's probably maybe a third of them that you wouldn't know. There's probably a third or something like that you wouldn't know. But very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah.
Today we have been working primarily on. First we worked on "Don't Look Back" because we
Don't Look Back. Remember that one?
Yeah, we put Richard Mainwaring sent us through an electric violin solo for it. It's very, very nice.
Yes, very
lovely,
good. Very
lovely,
good.
lovely stuff.
Yes.
So that was that. That was the quick part of the day, and then for the rest of the day we've been working on a song called "Fast and Loosed," which James wrote with Gavin Clifton.
That's right.
Gavin Clifton.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't intended to be for an album. I think Gavin just fancied having a songwriting session, so we knocked off this song together and didn't know what we were going to do with it really, but we thought it was good enough to have on this Curiosities album for Japan.
And we've been working on it more and putting more keyboards.
Yeah.
Changing the bass line.
Changing the bass
In
line.
fact, Paul Smith played drums on it about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else. But it sounds great. It sounds really good. And Gavin is so excited that it's going on the Japanese album. He went, that's going on the Japanese album. Oh, fantastic. So he's really happy about that. So that's great. That's great. It was a good reason to do it, if only to make Gavin happy.
Yes.
So that's rather marvellous. As always, we have a competition. We should say what we're giving away, because often we forget to do that.
Yes.
And you know, the impetus to get the question right is lost if you haven't got a prize at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. So what is today's prize?
So in the time-honoured tradition of making a rod for my own back, I was going to find very early versions of Cartoon World. So just as they were put in a state where you could hear them and go, oh yeah, okay, that's the song. There's how the song goes. And I was going to put them together because it's quite interesting how they developed. You know, once you start layering and layering and layering, of course, they take on a slightly different thing.
Yes.
But it's quite interesting to hear the bare versions. It's not as bare as like acoustic guitar and voice. A lot of them have got drums on them. Some of them fake drums, but you know, fake drums kind of sound. You really do get the idea. So I was going to put that together, and that would be kind of interesting. I was going to, as early as I can,
demo
it's still
tape.
making sense. Yeah, a demo CD.
tape.
So
Demo
again,
CD.
it would be the
Oh,
only.
I wouldn't mind that.
It'll be the only one in existence unless James pays me a lot of money to burn a second CD. I mean, those CDs, they cost like 8p. They do.
They do. Well, I'll give you 5p.
You can have half a CD then. I'm only doing half the tracks for you. And it must be said, I think it was Ingo that we still owe the early version, the demo version of the Japanese album. But the reason it's been a little bit delayed is because we are so close to having something for everything. But I think there's one more track that we haven't run off a mix of. And as soon as we do that, I will burn your CD and we'll chuck it in the post to you, Ingo.
Ingo's on.
So sorry, it's been delayed, Ingo, and hello. Who else is on today, Lige?
Paul G is on.
Paul.
Oh.
Yes, we owe Paul a T-shirt as well, but we sold them all. I did tell him by email, we sold them all, but
Voldemort.
Voldemort.
That's Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, he was the bad guy. The guy with no nose.
Indeed.
How did he smell? Awful!
Oh!
Hey! So the competition prize is this demo album of Cartoon World. As we're getting quite close to the end of this, I think next week will be the last week, won't it? We'll be doing The Best Thing You Can Do Is to Love Someone.
Yeah, the last track on the album.
Yeah, and then I thought, after that, I thought
Yeah.
maybe we might have a watch party, and we'll watch all the videos from the album after each other as a little album, and we'll join in the chat.
We will.
We'll join in the chat. Yeah. So I thought that could be quite a nice little thing to do.
Yeah. How about Johnny Baker? Wouldn't we get
Johnny
mention
Baker.
him?
So where is Johnny Baker at the moment?
Dear Johnny Baker, do you know where he is? The lucky lad.
Should we
He's in-
sing? He's in. La la land, la la land. It's another perfect day and there's nothing planned. La la land, la la land. Maybe rock and roll to you, but it's not so rock and roll to me.
Johnny is in Los Angeles.
La la.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he there? He's there to go and watch 2 Tears for Fears concerts, one in LA and one in San Diego. VIP special guest.
Special
yeah.
guest.
What a lucky lad.
What a lucky lad.
He left at 7:30 a.m. this morning to
Did
go
he?
to Heathrow.
Ah.
And I haven't heard from him, so I presume he got on the plane all right.
Excellent. Good.
Lucky lad,
Good,
isn't
lovely.
he?
So, for those that don't know, I mean, I think practically everyone knows, but John was in a band just pre-Tears for Fears with Kurt and Roland. And so he's going to catch up with them in person. He's not just going there as a fan, he's going there as a special VIP.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to support Tears for Fears on their next world tour.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, or maybe they'll tell us how much money that would cost. It's probably about 50 grand, I reckon.
Yep.
Or it might be more than that. So they probably won't. So there we are. So competition. We've said what the prize is, but we haven't said what the question is. As always, it relates to Cartoon World. So I'm going to just stick this up on the screen now. Mr. Warren, would you like to read? You're very good
I
at
would
reading.
love to read it.
Yeah.
Here is your competition question for today. The Korgis, who are they? The Korgis are known for multi-layered vocals. How many vocal lines are there on the song Cartoon World? Shall I read it again? Here we go. The Korgis are known for multi-layered vocals. How many vocal lines are there on the song Cartoon World?
So
I know because
'Cause I
Al
I
told me the
him.
answer before we went on air. Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. So yeah, that's a bit of a corker of a question, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, that's a corker of a question. And maybe just in case you don't know what a multi-layered vocal, it's a collection of vocals. How many voices are there in a row? Let's say.
Yeah. So how many voices are there on the song Cartoon World? That's your question, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Not counting things where we slightly doubled things, but how many separate lines can you hear? That'd be it. That'd be it. Pick the chorus. That's what I would do. I'd pick the chorus and have a listen to it and see what you can figure out.
Yeah.
There we are.
There we go.
Quite funny, isn't it, with harmonies? Because certainly you and I would listen to a harmony and you'd immediately go, oh, it's a 2-part block, or that's a 3-part block, oh, that's a 4-part block. The Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young thing, that's a 4-part block. Yeah. So we kind of immediately know that, but most people don't, do they? They just go to a bunch of voices.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So we are here to talk about Cartoon World. So what I was gonna say, I was just gonna do a little something on the guitar. So Cartoon World, on the verses, we've got a little. I'm trying to turn this way, maybe. On the verses, where we got pictures, words in bubbles. Everyone has a cartoon double. This next section, if you look what I'm doing. That style.
Very nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's kind of it's a bit like playing thirds on the piano, except they're separated by an octave. But it's quite a nice little sound.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me that I had used that exact device shortly before we wrote Cartoon World.
Yeah.
On one of my songs.
Yeah.
And I thought I would share it with him.
Oh, you should.
And
Good song.
I played this to James earlier, and he went, "Oh, I like this. This is really bare, unlike you." He said, "Because it's not
Very restrained. Very restrained production.
It's just guitar and strings, and it was written in lockdown. And you can kind of tell it was written in lockdown because it was written for people that were by themselves and weren't seeing anywhere and all that. So,
hence the title of the song, "Thinking of You."
Thinking of you.
Or thinking of you. Or thinking of you.
So, here we are. This is Thinking of You.
When your spirit's low, you've nowhere to go. Know that morning will come and black will turn to blue. When the wine is gone and no one has rung, know that someone out here is thinking of you. When your day's been slow and your feet are cold, the things that comfort your soul seem so far away. It may be a foolish thing in spite of everything. Know that someone out here is thinking of you. Thinking of you, though in years we haven't met. Thinking of you, something in me can't forget. Though I haven't much to say, and I'm a million miles away, know that someone out here is thinking of you. Though my promise wasn't true to keep the hurt from you, know that someone out here is thinking of you.
That little.
Bravo!
Thank you.
Bravissimo!
Thank you. And that little thanks, Rich, at the end was for Richard Mainwaring, who played violin on that. And as you could see, he was passing by in a rocket ship. Very fortuitous, as I was circling Saturn at the time, which gave a different meaning to. I haven't much to say, and I'm a million miles away. I was literally a million miles, more than a million miles away.
Many more.
Yeah, many more. About 200 million, I think. There we are. So same device. I've used that of the guitar kind of following the tune, you know, at the same time, and this kind of that little two-note thing, which works very nicely.
Very nice.
So I think the sequence of this song was, I think I had the chorus. I wrote the chorus.
You mean Cartoon World?
Cartoon World. Yeah, not this one.
We're talking
that
about
one.
Cartoon
I wrote that
World
one.
now.
Yeah, I wrote that one.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about this one.
Cartoon World.
Cartoon
World.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had the chorus for Cartoon World.
Yeah.
And then it was at that point we'd accidentally almost had a load of songs, didn't we? It was like we started the thing with Chris Hopkins, and then before we knew it, you went, oh, I got this other couple of ideas and stuff, and it was like turned out to be space and time and all of those.
Yeah.
And so we were just casually working on stuff, and it was like, oh, hang on, we've got like 8 songs or something like that. And so we said, oh, John Baker, why don't you write some lyrics for stuff like this? And this was one of the songs where he went, oh yeah, I fancy having a little go at Cartoon World because I like the idea of the cartoons and the imagery. He likes things with imagery in it, and so he did a load of those lyrics for Cartoon World, like the pictures, postcards, words in bubbles. Everyone has a cartoon double. I think that was all John's. That was
Very good. Yeah.
yeah, and we quickly had a 2-verse and a chorus was of that, and then we were, I think it was with you, just before you went again one day, wasn't it? It's the same story as Bringing Back the Spirit of Love. It took about 10 minutes to do the verse of Bringing Back the Spirit of Love, and the same, it took about 10 minutes to do this middle 8 of this song. And I got to say, the middle 8 is my favourite bit of the song. It's always nice when you can say, oh, I'm really proud of that song that I wrote, and you know, all of that stuff. But actually my favourite bit is a bit this guy wrote. And it actually reminds me of another artist that I am very, very fond of lyrically, and his name is Father John Misty. If anyone's seen Father John Misty, you'll know he's not to be forgotten once you've seen him, although he has calmed down a little these days. He's got a white suit and cut his hair. But
very good. You should listen.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But the imagery he's using, especially on the third album. The third album was about the disintegration of humanity. It was about the forthcoming end of the world if we don't change our ways. So actually, very similar.
Because you know this world's for everyone.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So a similar message to Cartoon World.
Yeah.
And so that imagery. So what are the lyrics there? Let's. Oh yeah, that's it. So to the money gods, we are cartoon slaves. The latest trendiest trend, the flash sales are what we crave. But this bit especially, movies set to cycle round. The scriptures we're entitled now. The story won't allow us to go back. So
It sounds just like it.
He's good on
I've been
kind of
practicing. I've been practicing.
Is it him on the record?
No, it isn't, but he has done whole solos like that, Carl. And trombone, you've done a trombone or whatever.
Indeed. Yeah.
So yeah, that middle 8 was very much about, you know, we're in a cycle that we can't get out of and stuff. So all of that imagery. Thank you to Father John Misty for giving us that idea. We didn't actually steal any lyrics from him, but that idea of writing like that came from there. And I think that was it, really, wasn't it? I mean, when we did the middle 8, we knew that was going to a key change. And it was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty good. It was like, can we still sing it in E now? Because it was already high enough.
And it went even higher.
It did, but it's good. It's good. What else have we got to say about that? Lyrics, and that, so I think that's kind of, there's not too much more to say about that. It's quite a simple song.
Yeah.
It's, if it was a slower tempo, it'd be very plodding, but it isn't. It feels like it just moves along very nicely. And for that reason, a few people have said it's their favourite track from the album.
Yeah.
In fact, I was
Lovely
doing
song.
a radio interview yesterday, and they said they played Kartoon World, and they said, "Oh, this is one of our favourite tracks from it."
Yeah. I should think so.
Oh, and funny enough, I was doing a radio interview this morning with Sabine, who we met at the Pizza Express, but also with a guy called Plastic
This
EP.
is when we were doing a gig at Pizza Express.
At Pizza
in
Express a
Herb
couple of
London.
weeks ago.
Not just down the road when we went for a pizza. You know what I mean?
No. And this Australian guy whose name is Plastic EP. And he said, "But you can call me Plastic." Oh, he didn't say it like that. He went, "But you can call me Plastic."
He's not the son of Plastic Bertrand, is he?
No, I don't think so. But he was certainly larger than life. So look out for that, because they're going to send us a link to it. And you'll see. I mean, I talk quite a lot, but it was quite hard for me to get a word in.
He must be some talk.
It was funny. Yeah, it was funny. I kept saying, "No, I just got to say. No, hang on, I've just got to say." I couldn't even get in during the interview that I was born 45 miles down the road from where he was born. You know, so I talked to him afterwards after we went off air. But and yeah, that was quite funny. So I think it's almost time for our other special guest to come on.
Good.
But what we're going to do is is this cartoon, of course, is the cartoon that Leah drew for Kartoon World. So if you forget about the quiz question there, and it basically says, Nigel suddenly notices the fruit of his magic tree, which is the magic money tree, of course, and realizes he can now pay for his new keyboard, which was broken, which was another song. And it really is a cartoon world.
Gosh.
So there we are. So thank you to Leah for all of those fantastic cartoons that kind of inspired the name of the album. And I think we are going to give you a little bit of I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of some of the stuff that she's done before, and then we're going to bring her on. Yes, we are. So have a look at this.
while you're making amends. I've been trashing our friends. Did I behave? I'll admit it's a hate. Make them pay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Leah Darknell. So, it's been ages since you've been on the show, isn't it? It's been...
Yeah, it's been a while.
In fact, did you ever make the show? I think you didn't in the end. You had to go back to uni early and we pre-recorded you upstairs, didn't we?
No, we did one pre-recorded,
All right.
one live, I
Did we?
believe. Yes,
Good.
yes. I've been in this seat before.
Glutton
yeah.
for punishment. Can't keep her away. So as you see from that intro video, there's a few little Korgis connections. But before we talk about Korgis connections, the other pretty amazing thing was the Albert Hall lifting off into space.
Yes, as it does all the time.
As
Yes.
it does, as it does in your imagination, anyway.
Yes.
But that was actually played at the Albert Hall. Because I was doing a little gig there at the Albert Hall.
Little gig.
And yeah, the guy who wrote all the material for that got talking to Leah and was going, could you do that? Could you make the Albert Hall take off into space and whatnot? And so, piece of cake in the end, wasn't it? Only
Yeah.
took, how long did it take?
I guess I couldn't make it lift off at the time, but I learnt. And eventually it happened.
Yeah. How long did it take? It was about 9 months.
Couple months, yeah. It's a big building, you know? It takes time.
Managed to get the blueprint of the tech drawing for the Albert Hall, and then
Yes.
make them all bit by bit and stick all the bits on and make sure that they stuck together, so that when you turn the Albert Hall, bits of it don't, disappear or
Yes.
stay where they are.
3D modelling,
Yeah.
Blender was
Yeah.
my best friend. Ooh.
Yeah. And the computer wasn't that fast either, was it? So you got to a point where you couldn't do the background on the same
Yes.
screen because the whole thing was falling down basically. So got the Albert Hall to lift off all right, but with no background. So we then had to get the background to stay in with the Albert Hall, which was a nightmare. I seem
Thinking
to
back,
remember.
it's all a blur.
It's
It's a blur in my memory.
it's good. And other one there, Phil Matthews. Phil Matthews is a bit of a friend of the Korgis, really. Yeah, Phil Matthews.
Random Brandon.
AKA The Village.
The Village,
Otherwise known as
yes.
The Village. I wonder if he's known as The Village in his village.
What? It takes a village.
What else was on there? Oh, there's a lady or sketching and stuff, wasn't there? But then there's the Korgi stuff. So what was the first thing you did for us?
I believe the first one was James Warren.
James
Colours.
Warren.
Still love
Colours.
that song.
Yeah, and that was stop frame animation.
Stop
it was
motion,
proper
yeah.
Stop Fanny Waterman.
Which, for those that don't know, means cutting out all the individual parts and then moving them
Yes.
bit by bit. And if you notice in the chorus of that, when the grass is growing up and smothering James, all the lights in the windows are changing like that. So she had to change all those lights
Yes.
as well with every, I assume in every 3 frames or 4 frames or something like that.
Yeah, it would have been 24 frames per second, so
Yeah.
quite often. It didn't
Yeah.
take 9 months, but
No, it didn't. That was quite
it took
quick.
a little
that.
less than
Felt
that,
like it was
weirdly.
quite quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that. I think there might have been a little bit of a hiatus, but you were involved in involved in some of our live stuff, weren't you? Of actually pressing buttons at the right time.
Yes.
I think at the first James Warren and Friends gig at the Rondo, I think you might have been up at the back starting the films at the right time.
Yes. Yes.
And also, we did a little kid on there, and this shows how good this worked, because Nigel Boyle, who was sat here, and you will see him later because I'm going to introduce him later for very good reason, but who was sat here was in the audience, and he said after we did this, he said, that was so brave to do that live link up with the studio. That was so brave. Because basically what I said to the audience is that this is a really risky thing to do, but we've got a live link up for the studio. I don't know if it's going to work. And then suddenly it appeared on the screen. I went, oh, it's there. And I went, I'm not sure if we have sound. And then you heard them go, no. It was like, oh, we got sound as well. We got the link up.
10 out of 10 acting, of course. Yes.
And so the string players played along with us. Of course, all we really did was we just played the video. That's all we really did. So if you were fooled at that point, we're so sorry. We're not really. We're not sorry at all. It was a good laugh. It was a funny thing to do. So yeah, you've been involved with that. And then I think probably then not much until we got to Cartoon World.
I guess so, yeah. Cartoon World was the renaissance of, my relationship with the Korgis. Yeah.
Yes, it was. And I remember exactly where we were. We were on Newport Road.
In the car,
I think I was dropping you to the range because you were buying some art stuff.
Of course.
And on the way I said, look, we can't do any gigs because we got this... it wasn't... well, obviously lockdown hadn't happened because you were on your way, weren't you? But we couldn't do any gigs. But they hadn't kind of shut everything down, but it was kind of on its way. A lot of gigs were being postponed. And so I said, hey, do you fancy doing like a little comic strip? And we call it like Keeping Up with the Korgis, a bit like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but not as glamourful as them.
Doubly entertaining, yes.
But more entertaining.
Yes.
More entertaining, for sure. I remember you kind of looking at me and going, like what? Like, what do you mean? And I went, well, James Warren is on his way to Tibet to reinstate the Dalai Lama as the rightful leader.
Which of course stuck and became the first cartoon,
Yeah, and you might think that took me quite a while to think up, but actually that was the first thing that came into my mind, so that's a shame on me, really. And I'm obviously a very sick person that thoughts like that can occur to me in no time whatsoever.
Comes
naturally. And so it turned out, of course, that once we got maybe 5-6 cartoons in, and you go, what's next? Who's next? And we took a bit of order, didn't we? And we kind of...
Yes.
We did, I think, James, then Born to Win, then maybe me, then John Baker, and we went through the whole band, and then we went round in a circle again. And I think we got about halfway through that cycle before we realised that the music that we were writing was going to tie in with the cartoons, and then all of a sudden it became Cartoon World.
Yes.
And then we had songs, and we're going, we haven't got a cartoon for this song, so it was all, messed about the other way then. So it was quite funny. That was quite cool. Very good. I remember it was always under duress. It was always like, Leah, I could really do with that other cartoon now. It's been 2 weeks since we put the last one out, and gone, okay, what's this going to be now?
You think of the big fun ideas. I see the work that's going to go behind it into creating it.
Yeah, it's really easy for me to say, James Warren is on his way to Tibet to reinstate the Dalai Lama as the rightful leader, and it's all simple. Just bring that to life.
Yeah, easy.
My favourite bit in that cartoon was the big box that James was pulling, which said XXL Lama Noodles.
Yes. That was an early idea that stuck.
A cunning plan to get through the Chinese border to Tibet. There we are. So I think that was you were still in uni accommodation then, weren't you? So
I believe so. Yeah, that was first year, I think.
That was first year, yeah, and you just finished now.
Yeah.
And we don't know whether you passed or not because you haven't had the results yet.
We shall see.
But we assume because you're quite good at art that she's passed.
I mean, it's only a degree in the arts, isn't it?
It's only a degree in the arts, and as we all know, it's a bit like getting a degree in guitar playing. It ain't going to get you a job. It's not going to get you a job. You actually have to play the guitar to get the job, and likewise you have to do the art in order to get the art job. But there we are. So exciting times because you've just finished and now you're
out in the big wide world.
Out in the big wide world. No job.
No job yet.
No job yet. So anyone out there that needs a freelance artist, come videographer, become anything else you can think of.
I've worn a lot of hats.
You,
Been cameraman, I've been lighting engineer.
you have. For my gig, you were lighting engineer, weren't you? The Globe, yeah.
I'll do anything. I'm a graduate.
What you mean, just skinned. Yeah.
Um,
So that's cool. So, so what are your plans next?
I guess first thing on the list, get a job. Also build my portfolio. Do some more exciting art.
You've already got loads of stuff in your portfolio.
I've got
haven't
some
you?
stuff, but you
Got
need
the
more.
Albert
You
Hall. You got James Warren. What do you
always
want?
need more. But hopefully specified in a certain direction. I think eventually I want to go into storyboarding. So
All right. Okay.
I guess in the future, yeah, art to do with that.
Right.
And yeah,
Okay.
building websites, building portfolios, applying for jobs, all that stuff. Yes. And hoping they let me in. And then learning from the failures and doing it all again. Yeah. Graduate life.
Ah. Oh well, there we are. Well, that's it. Are you working on anything at the moment?
At the moment, I'm working on another video for Phil Matthews.
Another video for Phil Matthews.
Good old Phil.
Good old Phil. Patient
Yes.
Phil, because she's been quite busy with exams and
Yes.
the like, and he has been very patient. But Phil, if you are watching or if you watch this on catch up, I have seen some of your video
Seen it.
coming into life. I've seen it with my own eyes. And I am an honest man.
Progress has been made. It's nearly there.
Yeah, there we are. Well, I'd written down here, what are your plans now? It's over. Just more parties? That's what I've written down. That's what I've written down on here.
Getting too old.
So there, I think you could read the quiz question out because we can
Ooh.
reiterate.
Yes.
I assume we've had some answers.
You have no right ones.
Ah.
No correct answers. There we
Rack
are.
those brains, guys.
Well, there we are. I think you maybe just go back and listen to that again and see what you can pick out. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so let's find this. So Leah, and I'm going to put it up on the screen, guys, and I'll try not to forget to take the screen off. There we are. So
The quiz question is for this week. The Korgis are known for multi-layered vocals. How many vocal lines are there on Cartoon World?
that's the song Cartoon World, not the album. That would
The song.
be a lot.
The song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
You
yeah.
don't have to count the whole album.
How many vocal lines are there on Cartoon World, the song? So yeah, let's see if anyone can come back. So yeah, keep having a go at that, guys. And you can win yourself the demo album of Cartoon World, which you might find there's a couple of kind of different things. There's a I think there's a very James. Oh yeah. Sorry, screen back. Thank you. Thank you. That's my big failure. That is. There's a very James Taylory version of The Best Thing You Can Do Is Love Someone, where it doesn't have that boom. It has proper drums and bass, and it sounds like it's a 4-piece version. So that may well end up on there. That may end up on there. It must be said there's probably quite a lot of me singing on this because I was the first person to be putting the strands of things together, the strands that people sent me. So James came and replaced my voice much better, a much better quality voice at a later date. But there's a good smattering of different things on there. So there. I think that is all good. We'll just do the little recap. If you've recently joined us, please subscribe. And we're pushing a little bit. Subscribe now on the Korgis.com. Be our friend. It's on the contact us page. It says, can't remember what it says. Sign up. I think it says sign up. It says sign up. And yeah, we're going to get a bit more hands-on with that. We're going to give away a few more freebies on there as well. There is at least some freebie on there when you sign up. I can't remember what it is now. It might be James Warren's version of, is it Day in the, oh no, it could be Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime with the Mike Smith Orchestra. I think that's up there. Yeah, I think that's up there as a freebie little giveaway. If it isn't, terribly sorry. But if you ask me nicely, I'll send you a copy. And the Mike Smith Orchestra is an orchestra that I lead because Mike Smith himself is retired. When we do concerts, it's quite a big band, so it's like 6 horn players, and we get at least 6 string players in, and then there's like 3 singers and guests such as the Reverend James Warren. And so yeah, he did that. He did a couple of things. We did that. We did A Day in the Life. We did All You Need Is Love. I think we did all of those on that particular day. So technically, I think there are recordings of all of those. So we might put some of them up as a freebie if you sign up to the Korgis.com.
Be our friend.
Be our friend.
Smash the like button.
Yeah.
Smash the subscribe button.
That way.
That was easy.
That's what it'll be like. When
That's
you
how
smash the
easy
button.
it will be.
Yeah.
And of course, Facebook, if you like Facebook, or if you prefer Twitter, or if you prefer Instagram, or if you like all of them. We tend to post similar things on all, but not necessarily at the same time. There we are. So I think, should we bring Mr. Warren back on and we'll talk about news? We'll talk about news. You can stay if you want. You want to just nip. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
I've been standing. I don't mind standing.
Well, I was going to say
today.
You're right. You're right. You're cool. If I do that, yeah, you can come
now
forward then, and I can still get to.
Hello again.
Yeah. So news. We've told the news already that Johnny Baker is in
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
VIP.
Yes,
Tears
VIP
for
guest
Fears.
of Tears for Fears. Lucky man. But it's just about as sunny here.
In other news, there's increasing pressure on the Prime Minister about the Partygate affair.
Oh, continue with that.
More of that later.
Yeah. I've got to say, our gig in Blackpool was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yes.
Really great venue. Loved
Great
that
venue in Blackpool. It's called
the Waterloo Bar.
the Waterloo Bar, Blackpool.
The Waterloo
Music Bar,
Yes.
If ever you're in Blackpool, go and check it out. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very, very good. It's a proper kind of they've made a brilliant stage there, and they designed their own sound system, and it's like the engineer is great. They've got a lighting engineer, he's great as well.
Yeah.
So big shout out, there was Paul and Neil, I think it was, am I right there?
I think you're right.
I think that's who it was. Big shout out to them, because they did a fantastic job. And so, bands, if you're looking for venues, anywhere up that way, the Waterloo Music Bar, really thoroughly recommended. And we met a lot of lovely people up there. Some people I'd never met before. So very nice to see new people there.
And we have a new friend.
We do
Mr.
have-
Marley Davidson.
Marley Davidson, we do. That's right. And he was our support act, wasn't he?
He was. Lovely chap he is as
Lovely
well.
chap, and an amazing voice.
Yes.
He can sing very, very high.
Performs all his own music,
He does.
own material.
Except when he's on stage with us, duetting on Everybody's Going to Learn Sometime.
Which he did at the Waterloo Bar.
And it's on Facebook. It's up on Facebook somewhere. Yeah, you can have You can see that. You can see
There
that
we
if you want to
go.
see it.
There we go.
And he's just sent me through a load of his stuff that he's had mastered at Abbey Road.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
And it is very nice. Yeah, it's very nice. It's quite a bit of production on it.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of production.
Marley Davidson.
Marley Davidson.
Remember that name.
And Marley is from Dundee in Scotland.
He is. Scotland. Aye.
Yes. And he really wants us to go and tour Scotland. Probably so he can support us on all of the days. But
Yes.
that's fair enough, isn't
That's
it?
fair enough, isn't
That's
it?
fair enough.
Yes.
So we are talking to people about that up there. So if you're happen to be catch up on this live stream in Scotland, watch out, because we are going to cross the border.
Yes.
That Hadrian's Wall that they built to keep us out,
Yeah.
just forget it.
Not to keep you out, surely.
No. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know this, but I've got Scottish blood. I've got complete Scottish blood, because both of my parents, even though my mother was born in Australia, she was of Scottish heritage, and my father was definitely of Scottish heritage. And you'll know that for every time that there was a ceilidh, he would get up and sing. It's what all the Scots do, isn't it? And we go, oh no, he's doing it again.
Here's a quiz question for you.
Yeah.
Can you spell the word ceilidh?
Ooh, it's quite hard, isn't it?
Try.
K-A-Y-L-E.
No.
No.
C-E-I-L.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
There's going to be a D in there.
There is a
somewhere, isn't there?
D-G-H at the end, isn't there? Kaylee. Oh, so an I-D-G-H? Is that
Not
right?
quite. Very close. Leah?
C. E.
Yes.
Oh, okay. L.
No.
Oh,
No.
Well, I got the first bit right.
D-G-H.
C-E-I-L.
C-E-I-L.
Kale.
A-D-G-H.
Oh,
Kill
close. Can I give you the answer?
Go on then. Know it all.
C-E-I-L-I-D-H. There is
no
G.
G. And it's an I.
Kaylee.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
a Rory that's spelled Ruardeh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
a weird one.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it?
The weirdest one is Neve, isn't it?
Oh,
Neve.
yes.
The Irish
Yes.
Neve.
Yeah.
N-I-A-M-H. Yes.
N-I.
Nambi.
What?
A-M-H, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Isn't that
incredible.
weird?
Yeah, incredible.
Have we gone off topic a bit?
I think we just
Back to Cartoon World.
This is what they're here for.
it's always good to remind them what smart.
Here's
asses
another
we
quiz
are.
question. Can you spell the word cartoon?
Oh, well, it depends if you're a corgi or you're not a corgi.
Exactly, it's a trick question.
And this is something to say because, of course, the album was called Cartoon World with a K,
Yes.
and the song was called Cartoon World with a C.
Yes.
If I remember right, that was Johnny Baker's idea.
Was it really?
I think it was, yeah.
Gosh,
He went,
yes.
Cartoon World with a K, and the song with a C.
Ah,
So
there we are.
Uh,
There we are.
I can't adequately explain why that is.
Yeah, you can.
Can I? I don't know. Can I?
Because it's the Korgis.
Oh, the K I can explain,
Yes.
but the song
Why
is
did we
with a C.
revert to a C
Yeah.
with the song?
Oh,
Just to be awkward, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to be awkward, I would think.
Choose.
Yes. Yes.
So, gig in Blackwell was great.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're somewhere else, aren't we?
We are in Chelmsford
Chelmsford.
tomorrow, if we ever get there. That
Yeah,
is.
being Bank Holiday
On
Friday.
the
so
M25
it
orbital.
could be bad. Well, we might have to get off the M25
Yes,
orbital.
we
We'll
might.
see
We
how
might
it
have to
goes.
start walking
Yeah.
along the hard shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So please do come and see us in Chelmsford if you're
Yes.
anywhere close. It's not too far
Yes.
from Colchester. It's not too far from Southend-on-Sea. It's not too far from London, really.
Because
It's not
there
too
is-
far from Luton.
There is someone
Stevenage.
rather interesting who's going to be appearing with
There
us.
is. There is.
In Colchester. You remember ELO, Electric
ELO.
Light Orchestra? Well, Al?
Well, there was another version called ELO 2.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's right. And I'm trying to. His name is Alan, but I can't remember his second name now. I think I'm on the wrong chat there. Anyway, but he is a keyboard player and stroke string arranger for ELO 2, or he was. I'm not sure they're still touring or not.
I don't know.
And he's going to join us. For everybody's going to learn sometime. And he sent us a little video of him playing the solo, and it sounded amazing.
Wow.
It sounded
Looking
amazing.
forward to that.
Yeah.
So, if you live anywhere within 100 miles of
Yeah.
Chelmsford, I hope
Yeah.
you'll come along tomorrow night.
and it's live streamed as well.
And
It
it's
is live streamed.
as well.
Do we have a link for that yet, Nige? Do we have a link for the live
I believe
stream?
he sent through an email.
Okay, we will put that up maybe tonight or tomorrow latest, and see the link for the live stream. I don't know whether I got an idea. It might be paid. I don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know, but it
don't
might
know.
be. But it
Don't
probably
know.
wouldn't be very much money. And obviously, we prefer you to come in person, really.
We would really.
Yeah. We
would.
Yes.
It's not even that far from Glasgow.
No, that's
No.
right.
Anywhere.
No.
It's not that far from France. It's just
No.
over the pond.
Yeah, well, you could
That's
sail
right.
from France in,
You could
in
sail
minutes.
exactly. Minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
no excuse.
There's
really.
no excuse for not coming to Chelmsford. There really
So,
isn't.
as in our gig in Blackpool last week, there's no Johnny Baker because we've already explained he's not with us.
He's in Los Angeles.
But it was quite interesting because we didn't really do a rehearsal without John, but we just. I said to you, didn't I? I said, "Do we need a rehearsal?" And you went, "Nah, it'll be fine." Whatever. And then we got to Dumb Waiters and it was like, oh, hang on, this is two-part, isn't it? It's like I'm supposed to be singing the other part. I don't know if I know the words. I kind of knew most of the words, but there was a few little surprises that we had. But someone in the audience said, fair dues. I was a little worried when I saw John Baker wasn't there. Said, fair dues, you really nailed it. I could see you were thinking on your feet and stuff, but you guys really nailed it. And he said, because some of those songs are tricky, aren't they? And we know they are.
Yeah.
We know how tricky they are. Tricky to write, tricky to play. Well, actually, when you're recording stuff like that, like Time, for instance, with tempo changes and all that, it's not that hard to record, is it? Because you only have to get it right once.
Yes. And
When you do it live.
you can do it in segments. Do one segment, stop,
Yeah.
have a cup of tea, have a cheese sarnie,
Yeah.
and then do the second segment.
Yeah. I mean, that particular song, I've got 3 guitar solos in a row.
Yes, you have.
And they're all different sounds. And then, of course, I was filling in for John Baker's part, wasn't I? I'm thinking, oh, okay, I've got a lead vocal and a solo at the same time.
I hope you're following all this.
Yeah, followed
Are
by
you following all
another
this?
solo, followed by another solo, followed by us trying to remember the words of our great pretender obscures the agenda, content in the glory of himself. Yeah. We're going to remember that line tomorrow.
Yes.
So anyone there at Chelmsford, pay particular attention to after the 3rd guitar solo. Is it after the 3rd guitar solo? Yeah, it is.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, somewhere anyway. Somewhere. It'll all come flooding back to us. So yeah, there we are. Chelmsford tomorrow. So it should be a great one. Looking forward to that a lot. What else have we got in this cryptic list? I've got KKK is almost finished. It's a very unfortunate KKK. It's a very unfortunate album. Our album title of Cool Hits.
Korgis.
Cool hits, curiosity.
Curiosities and collaborations.
Croutons.
That the abbreviations are KKK, but we have no affiliation with that organisation or any sympathy with them at all. No, thank you. Yes, we'll leave that there. I'll tell you what I was going to do. Oh yeah, we're just working on the mix. What we said we're working on the mix today for that, but we've also been working on a mix of If I Had You.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to grab it up on here. I'll tell you what, I'll grab it up on Sonar because then I can scroll around a little bit and you can have a little look because you'll see how many backing vocals we've got on it. You'll see that we now have real strings on it.
Real strings means violin.
Violins,
Strings
yes,
is,
strings.
means violins.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. As opposed to the original was all synths, and it sounded lovely with it like that. And the Korgis were kind of known as a synth band, weren't they?
Yeah.
That big lush thing. But big and lush is also a word that is descripted by strings. When they play, boy, do they sound big and lush. So consequently, this version of If I Had You sounds really big. It sounds brilliant. I'll get it up here. I think I can get away without doing too much shenanigans. And I will show you around the screen for it, and hopefully it'll all be marvellous.
It's wonderful, it's marvellous that you should care for me.
And there we are. So I think I can get rid of that thing at the bottom there.
There it
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So this, of course, is our program Sonar that we use. Just in case anyone's technically minded, this is quite a minority program to use. A lot of people wouldn't use this. They would either use Pro Tools or they'd use Cubase or they would use Logic for Mac. But this program, I think, is as good as any of them, and I've used it for quite a long time. Used to use Logic, but now use this, and it's marvellous and has so much stuff in it. And they have now made it free. This used to cost 600 quid, and I paid like 350, 400 for mine, and then Gibson bought it, and they sponsored us, and they gave us all this stuff for nothing, and then Gibson almost went bust. And they ditched everything that wasn't a guitar. And then about 4 months later, this other company picked it up, and they've now given it away for nothing. So if you fancy getting into recording and stuff like that, BandLab Cakewalk, download it. It's free and it's brilliant.
Money for
Brilliant.
nothing and chicks for
Free.
There we are. And so this is how If I Had You sounds. And I'm going to turn the mic off now.
The other day I saw you walking. You looked as pretty as a peach. You look so near, but yet somehow you're out of reach. Change the world if I had to. Change the world if I had to. My daddy told me not to worry. He said, son, it always comes to you.
The purple things are strings.
But as I wait, I feel sometimes, oh no, it's too late. I could change the world if I had to. 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 Change the world if I had to.
And there it was. If I Had You. So that's what it now sounds like. And that's not even really mixed yet. Oh, sorry, I've done something there. Ooh. Oh no, it's all right. Good. I thought I'd stop the live stream for a second there. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. We are going to say farewell to Mr. James Warren because he's going to buzz off now that the traffic has calmed down. He's going to buzz off over the bridge because we have an early start tomorrow. Oh, sorry. Turn the mic on and the.
So I'll say cheerio for now. Hope to see you in Chelmsford and all the very best. Thank you so much.
Oh, goodbye. I'll give him a round of applause here as well. There, you can go back on that seat now if you want.
Oh,
There we are. Bit belated,
I'm back to first chair.
but still righteous. Yeah.
No more playing second fiddle. Sorry, little orchestra joke there.
Little
Music
orchestra
lovers.
joke, I know. We were telling orchestra jokes earlier in the day, weren't we?
Oh dear.
We were. Okay, so I can shut that. So, nobody has won the quiz question. Let's start some wilder guesses, shall we? And by wilder, I don't necessarily mean bigger. Okay, there's a little-
40,000 vocal
There's
bites.
a little. Well, on a normal song, that'd be about it. That would be about it. So I'm just going to do. I'm just going to read a little thing. I'll reiterate. Oh. You know, I was talking about we're going to do a maybe a watch party the week after next and do all of the videos in a row. So it'll be like a video album of Cartoon World. People have asked, can they get the video album anywhere? So if enough people wanted a video album, of course we could put a DVD together of it. So do give us a shout if you think that that would be a great idea. I mean, it's a bit funny in it because these days you can just go to YouTube and watch them. They're all up there. But sometimes people like to actually have a video and put it in their DVD player and do it. Yeah. So there's a thought. So we could do a video album because we have videos for absolutely everything. And someone said surround sound mix for the video. Ooh, that would be good, wouldn't it? That would be good.
Yes.
Could be time consuming. That's all I would say. Could be time consuming.
But you have so much time.
Yeah, I know. I do.
Time is my healer,
go
I
on.
know it will.
You can't quite the corgis
Oh
with me.
dear.
So I am just going to do a little quote from a liner note, and there is a point to this. Okay, so here's a quote from the liner notes, and this is to do with graphics and art and stuff like that. It starts with, the album's story spans 50 years, from 1980, where perhaps things began to go wrong, all the way through to 2030. No, you don't need a crystal ball. Where things have gone very wrong. It charts many events that were milestones on our journey. Some of them were contentious, like the magic money tree, or Dominic Cummings' part in Brexit, or the financial crash of 2007. It also charts times of joy, like us all being huddled in the back of vans and dreaming about being rock stars. The message begins and ends with love. With the Korgis, it always was. But perhaps these days, we need to be more strident to cut through the noise. And then it says, Leah Darknell's illustrations, inspired illustrations. Sorry, what did I say? Leah Darknell's illustrations, inspired by bands like Gorillaz and Radiohead, had in turn inspired an album and of course would feature on the cover. Her other obsession is the Marvel universe, and that would also become part of the album images as the band members held up a giant cartoon world as they did. This was put together by our inspired and industrious backroom boy, Nigel Boyle. Bye. Nigel Boyle, who, as well as editing the amazing pics of the band, pulled it all together visually and attempts to pull us all together as a band. Take a bow, both. That's what it says here. So Nigel,
in that
on
case,
screen, come and take a bow.
I thank you. I thank you.
There we are. So
And
yeah.
I thank them.
These are our art guys, so between them both they kind of pulled all of that together. And also, got to be said, the new album cover is looking really good. It's a little bit out there, as you would imagine, but I think you're going to like it. We have shown the front cover, which is kind of take on Sgt. Pepper, but the inside sleeve is also a little bit out there,
yes.
a little bit out there. I had this idea, and Nigel got it to work. That's all I can say. Nigel got it to work.
Third time lucky.
Yeah. So that's great. Next week we talk about the best thing you can do is to love someone. I'm not sure who's going to be on the stream next week. Obviously we did. We had collaborators on that. We had Cher Adelican and we had Laura Prince from France. If I could get either of those to come on or even do a Zoom pre-record with them somewhere, I will before that. And then that will be the end of the album, and then we'll do that watch party, and then we'll figure out what's going next. It'll probably be the next, album, the Japanese album. We'll start to go through track by track, I reckon.
Yes.
That could be a good thing to do. In the meantime, we are going to leave you.
Inga would like.
Oh,
to
sorry.
know the
Yeah.
answers.
Anything else? Of course, we haven't done the live stream, have we?
No.
I'm sorry, we haven't done the quiz question.
You
That's
got
what
it.
That's what
Yeah.
I
Edge of
was
your
trying to say.
seats. The suspense.
So yeah, back up on the screen. The Korgis are known for multi-layered vocals. How many vocal lines are there on Cartoon World? And has anyone got it yet?
No.
Nobody
No.
has got it.
It's simpler than
Okay.
you think.
It is much simpler than you think. It is the only song on the album that only has 3-part harmony. And that is because the idea was that we would be able to perform it with just the 3 of us, that maybe we might do a little acoustic section or something like that, and it would work with just 3 voices. So that's it. The answer is 3. Sadly, no winners today.
Alas.
But maybe next week we might give away that demo album, and I'll stop making the questions so difficult.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I was racking my brains for a question for Cartoon World. I couldn't think of anything, and then that one came to me, and I thought, oh, that is an interesting
What's
one.
the name
And
of the song?
What's the name of the song?
That could be a question for next week.
And we have a new single out tomorrow.
We do have a new single out tomorrow. Yes, we are re-releasing. Bringing Back the Spirit of Love. I think most people will know that we released it as one of the very early ones when Cartoon World was first released, before it had gained such momentum. And now it really is picking up steam. We've got a lot of interviews and a lot of people showing interest in it. That particular song has already been at the top of Mike Reed's chart, but I believe he played it again yesterday on his radio show. Yeah, Sabine was telling me this morning he played it on his radio show. So we're hoping that can enter the charts again. It'd be nice to be back in his chart and every other chart. It would be nice to be back in all of them. So please do go out and have a listen to it and download it if you wish. It is the longer version. The single version is longer than the album version because the album version cuts dead as we go into... What do we go into? Back in the 80s, as we go back in the 80s. So this is the one with the long fade out on it.
Long fade, but it's a shorter track.
Oh, it's a very slightly shortened version, yeah. But again, it's interesting because it's different. You can spot the differences.
Yeah.
Maybe that's be one of the questions. Spot the differences in Bringing Back the Spirit of Love between the old version and the new version. And we have another new version of that for the Japanese album. So it's all go with that song, isn't it? Yeah. So I think we are now. Is there any other questions? Anyone else? I need to say hi to or anything like that?
No.
Just lovely. As always, I was going to say, I always go through these afterwards and just check the chat and just see who's been saying what, and occasionally contact people if they've asked a question that we haven't quite got to.
Elaine's just saying that she hopes you have a great time in Chelmsford.
Thank you,
and
Elaine.
She loves Bringing Back the Spirit of Love.
Yeah.
But they're all fantastic. That is so true. So true.
Ah, very nice. Very
Good
nice.
old Elaine.
So we are going to play the video for Cartoon World, but this is a bit contentious, especially being the Queen's Jubilee week. This is.
Oh,
this
yes.
is. So actually, on the screen, I'm going to just put up a little disclaimer, and this says, the views expressed in this video are not necessarily the views held by the management, and therefore the management cannot be held accountable for any perceived anti-royal feeling portrayed in this disgusting but very funny video. Thank you to Stuart Taylor. Stuart Taylor, an old friend of the band's, who way back in Stackridge days did the video for Dora the Female Explorer. He got his kids in his class to do that. And the first time I met him was across at the stables, and he come up and he went, I can't believe you played Dora and you used a film that I made. And so we've kept in touch, and every now and then he will do us a little film for something. And Cartoon World, this is what he came up with. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all again next week. But here it is. It really is a Cartoon World.
Pictures, captions, words in bubbles. Everyone has a cartoon double. Say what you want in a page of squares. It's all great fun, no one will care. But off the page I'm cold and tense, and nothing I do seems to make much sense. There's not too much to shout about in Disney World when the lights go out, and there's no one to say cut. We're living in a cartoon world. I'm living with a cartoon girl. She's sweet in every way, loves me any time of day. All I have to do is say the word. Haven't you heard that you're a cartoon girl? Not sure I'm cut out for this cardboard world. Maybe it's just me, I like it how it used to be in the 70s. It's so easy, nothing matters. When it's not real, then nothing shattered. Facing life in a world of dreams. Fantasy is what it seems, but when the night comes cold and dark, reality sure leaves its mark. The world's not shut in black and white. What can I do but close my eyes and dream? Emotion stops. We're living in a cartoon world. I'm living with a cartoon girl. She's sweet in every way, loves me any time of day. All I have to do is say the word. Haven't you heard that you're a cartoon girl? Not sure I'm cut out for this cardboard world. Maybe it's just me, I like it how it used to be in the 70s. Till the money gone, we are cartoon slaves. The latest, trendiest trend, the flyest shares, are what we crave. The movies say to cycle around. The script says we're entitled now. The story won't allow us to go back. Haven't you heard this is a cartoon life? I'm living with a cartoon wife. Wouldn't you agree we liked it how it used to be in the 70s? Remember how it used to be in the 70s?
stop that live stream now, can't we?
Yeah.
And maybe just.
And put the track up.
Yep.
And then we can go on.
Yeah.
Presuming that you have everything.